and welcome everyone. I'm Catherine. In June of this year, we announced the winners of the various women leaders in the marketing industry at the Empowered Women Awards 2023. And today we will extend honoring their journey and achievements through a series of interviews in the Empowered Women Series 2023. For today's episode, Sybil Ng, account director at Quantcast, is gracing us with her presence to further delve into her accomplishments and unwavering leadership commitment, as she was announced one of the winners in the technology category of the recently concluded awards event. Welcome, Sybil.
Thank you, Catherine.
So congratulations for winning in the technology category at the Empowered Women Awards 2023. How do you feel about this recognition?
Thank you, MARKETECH APAC, for recognizing me with this award. Obviously, I feel incredibly proud because there's so many amazing and outstanding female leaders in our industry. And obviously, it's been a privilege of mine to be recognized alongside them.
Yes, we're extremely proud and honored as well to inaugurate an inspiring platform for incredible women leaders such as yourself. I'm sure your story has resonated with so many people. Now, delving into your leadership journey, in your awards entry, you mentioned that in 2023, the media industry has faced instability. Can you name the top challenges? And as one of the core leaders in Quantcast, how were you able to overcome them?
Obviously, there were a lot of changes in our industry following COVID-19. And I think as you know, we start to enter in a climate of recession. I think the biggest challenge that any industry player in our industry faces is that, marketing budgets are going to be cut. The competition amongst existing technology vendors like Quantcast is just going to increase. In order for us to stay ahead of the game, it takes a lot of effort. The one thing that I kind of alluded to in my entry was that I think it's taken a long time for me to build trust with my clients. And obviously, trust is like a two-way relationship, right? And it's a two-way street. It takes time, it takes effort. You need to give the trust to your clients and you also need to earn the trust. And I think, I've been fortunate enough to be able to forge strong relationships with a lot of my clients. And I feel like a big part of that also comes from being sincere in your relationships. And I know it sounds a little bit cliched, but instead of going in with like how can I get more money from you? It's more like I understand your pain points. How can I help you? And I think when you go in with good intentions and people can feel it, it's a really good way to build like a strong foundation of trust with your clients. Part of that also means making it easier to build trust is also building your own credibility in the industry. And I think me winning an award like this is probably one way of me building my credibility as well. Obviously, I think the more credible you are as an individual, people will kind of feel like, you're someone who can be counted on, and therefore they are more inclined to give you their trust. Another thing I guess as well is that there were a lot of problems in our industry, and given my personality, I guess I'm not the kind of person to shy away from problems. I feel like all the more if you're in a position of leadership in a company, you have to use your position to help solve all of these challenges. What I was actively doing and still actively am doing is I am advocating for young voices in my team as well as in other teams to kind of speak up, because everyone has an opinion, and I always feel like if people have a good opinion to share, then we can all learn from each other. It doesn't matter like how senior you are or like where you come from, but the main thing is to first foster a climate where they are confident in speaking up and that they feel like it's a safe space and that they can feel free to air their opinions without any judgment. The biggest learning curve for me in 2023 was being able to recognize whenever I am out of my depth. So when I don't know something, I kind of know that I have to take a step back and learn and have to ask other leaders for help. So that's the one thing I guess I kind of took on board when I was like trying to tackle on the challenges I was facing in the year. I kind of feel that a good leader is someone who knows how to collaborate and be humble, both of which are like really good values to impart to team members. So you lead by example in some sense.
I love that. Good intentions. And of course, being in a position of leadership, it would be a great mindset for leaders to have an advocacy for speaking up, especially for your younger team members, and instilling that kind of confidence in them. Now, let's talk about women's representation in the industry. Being an active member of various industry boards across APAC, what do you think these industry groups should do to further represent rising women leaders in the region?
I think I have a slightly controversial opinion on this. I actually thought really long and hard whether I should say this, but I do feel this. I feel very passionately about this. So I do feel that industry boards may unknowingly or not have kind of over perpetuated competition and achievements, especially when there's like a membership model in place. There are certain industry bodies where you need to have a certain level of qualification, you need to have a certain seniority or certain title in order for you to apply to be a member. I do understand that a lot of these industry groups exist to serve and to cater to certain audiences and for certain reasons such as networking, but I feel like boards are able to foster a more open and barrier-free environment. It can encourage women from all kinds of levels to be part of their program programs. I think that's a really important thing. And I think locally, organizations large enough to influence change in this area can best represent aspiring rising female leaders by starting internally. So what this means is that within the workplace, within the office, companies can have initiatives that empower women. Some of the activities I've seen that work really well are actually like female-led social groups, strong DEIB policies, and like mentorship programs where female leaders are encouraged to step up and become mentors to aspiring leaders, regardless of whether they're male or female in the office.
To wrap up the interview, we want to hear your thoughts about women in leadership. Now, how can women tech leaders be more instrumental in driving innovation and shaping the direction of the tech industry moving forward?
Again, kind of alluding to what I wrote in my submission entry, right? I feel like there shouldn't be any specific distinction in gender when it comes to leaders and aspiring leaders, because I don't think your gender plays a part in whether you are instrumental in driving change and innovation. It's literally down to whether you want to put in the effort into it. And the key to fostering greater sharing and knowledge transfer is to make the forums by which people can share their thoughts open. So meaning keeping low barriers to entry, like what I mentioned earlier, and safe from judgment, because I think people are more honest and people are more willing to speak up when they feel like it's a judgment-free space. And when people are comfortable with the knowledge exchange and they're comfortable with expressing their own thoughts and opinions, that's where we can uncover some really great insights and we can actually discover hidden talent. So not skirting the question a bit, but I kind of feel like there shouldn't be a distinction in gender when it comes to leadership and shaping the industry.
Exactly. There are a lot of, potential that one might uncover with that kind of leadership and that kind of environment, a judgment-free zone. So what great insights you've shared with us today, Sybil. Sincerity and good intentions indeed go a long way, being humble and creating a safe space for everyone to share knowledge and grow together. So I hope our audience reflects on these insights as well. Thank you so much again, Sybil. Your leadership and boldness will surely inspire the lives of many women in the industry.
Thank you, Catherine.
As we bring this inspiring interview to a close, we are left with a profound sense of admiration and gratitude for women leaders like Sybil. So see you again on our next episode of the Empowered Women Series 2023. Again, this is Catherine. Let's keep learning every day.